Hello everyone, Frones Smooth Operator is back with part 2 of the full tour of the High-Elven city. So if you haven't already seen, part 1, I guess you would have to turn around and have a look at that first. Unless you of course just are too eager to see the Frones district or District 5, which is what I am gonna showcase you today. The reason why the place we're entering is called Frones District is because I actually turn out to build almost all of it. But before we enter Frones District, we have got some nice nature here on the cliff sides, and a greenhouse and a little cafe to showcase, which I'm not able to completely take all the credit for. I'll have to say nature stuff here is really cool, and I haven't really been part of doing that. It was raspberry lime mostly. I'm pretty sure Skyboy did some work on this as well, but I want you to just have a look at how you are sort of immersed into the nature, and how the path is just curved around here between a tree and the greenhouse up there. So you can already see something is going on. So you really want to walk around here, and everything just emerges as we get there. But first, I want you to just take a look at this also. This is a very cool place that you're giving the option of going here to the right before entering that district up there. And we've got a nice little place again just for decoration and pretty much for, well, enjoying life in this city. I'm not sure what this is exactly, but it sure is a very pleasant place to be, and I'm pretty sure living here would be just awesome. In general, nice place to sit, and we've got some residential space in here, which is quite cool. As you can see, whoever did this, I'm actually not sure. That is again my mistake, guys. I should know all of this, but I don't, because I was actually away on vacation for a long time while we did this, so I can't really credit everyone properly. But this place sure is really nice, and notice how we suddenly ended up here. Really nice how this house is integrated within the cliff, and it fits so nicely here. Just have a look at that. The levels going down there, up the actual house, and coming out here on the streets here and seeing the palace. Really nice place. So this is what we wanted to do with this part. Let me just give you a view from up here. What we wanted to do with this part exactly was to emphasize how nature is part of this city, and how much elves appreciate and cherish the feeling of trees and nature and all that. So here we have more grass than we would usually have, lots of moss in the streets, really nice tree designs, natural lampposts, all that sort of stuff that really just gets you, well, you're sort of part of nature walking here. That is a neat thing. And of course the core thing of this place is the greenhouse, and this is something that I am able to talk about in depth, because I was part of building this. I started building this corner. It took me ages. It was the first thing I built here, and it was looking terrible until Voxel came by, did some layout, helped me a lot, and King did a lot of touching up on this one. So I'm only able to take credit for the general shape of this back here and the general idea of it. Then Voxel did most of the shaping of this, but just have a look at the curves here, how organic and I dare say natural this looks. Just a brilliant building in my opinion. And while I wasn't really able to do the interior, or exterior at that point, what I did later on was building the actual interior of this. So I will take you through this and explain my thoughts on this interior. So we wanted to really I want to make a greenhouse that sort of just screamed elven, in that sense that it is not just random plants, somebody growing random plants. This is a place where you can relax, where you can study, because that is what elves like to do, right? You can sort of, it's almost what do you say, sort of spiritual to be here. And what I'd imagine that elves would like is sort of keeping things neat and organized, and really testing themselves in their gardening skills. So we have sort of areas that is color themed, which is a nice thing, I find. And we, in general, there's just lots of stuff in here in different sections. So we have a section for oranges or citrus fruits, and again, to create some variation in here, in this corner we have stuff hanging from the ceiling, and we have seating space down here, while over here we have mostly stuff growing from the ground, and you aren't really able to sit here. So that is a thing that you could keep in mind when doing greenhouses, or just anything in general, keeping the variation in the layout that you've got going here. And also it's a nice thing to shove in some water if you're working with nature in general. So a little pond here really creates a nice atmosphere. And you've got all the stuff that you'd want for, you know, actual tools for gardening. So barrels for water and stuff, a little sickle there, a broom over here. So all that stuff is also important to have, to make it feel like somebody's actually working in here. Little bits of light, some shelves, and back here is another part which really it has all this light coming in from these huge windows, and that just creates that really nice feeling of being inside a greenhouse, having the light come in, having all the plants catching the light and the sunrise from outside. And up here we had that dome that I showed you from the outside, and I wanted to, well, keep this really part of the build, so you could actually come up here, pick the grapes that were growing here. So grapes are of course a nice thing to have here, because elves like to make wine. We've got lots of wine on this plot in general. I bet you will see that later on. So you'd need to go there and be able to pick that stuff. It really makes nice use of the space that we have in here, while also showing how this is actually functional. So for the upstairs, you'd of course need some storage rooms to store the different stuff that you'd have in that greenhouse, to store plants and to store tools and all that. So that is what we've got in here. Bit of what's it called, wheelbarrows and cages and stuff like that, with materials. A little loft up here, I guess you can call it. Again, just with different storage, and a nice balcony. Balconies are sort of a core element of the elven styles here. People are able to get in touch with nature, with the city itself, get out there in the light. So that's a thing that we have all sorts of places. Can I open that door now? Yep, I can. I'm still sort of stuck. Well, why is that a problem? Come on, I built this shit. I'm a team leader. Nope, not working. Not working. Well, we'll have to stick with that. Oh, you can be a team leader and a noob at the same time, I'm pretty sure. Well, here we have sort of, I imagine, a room for an apprentice, or because we have the gardeners, the actual gardeners' quarters in here. it's a little nicer, right? He's got a room for writing stuff. Maybe he's writing stuff about plants, who knows? And a little nice painting chest with nature stuff. It's a nice little place for him, and his apprentice would be living up there, or his garden helper or whatever. So that is the interior of the greenhouse done, right? I love walking down these stairs. You can see everything from here. Nice layout I find that I managed to do in the end. It took a lot of time, this greenhouse, so that's also why I wanted to show that to you guys. I think it came out really nice in the end. What is up with these doors? Right, great. That's the greenhouse. Moving on, we've got a cafe here. Something weird happened. I know for a fact that this is supposed to be some drunk person puking, falling off and dying. Not really fitting for the elven theme, but quite a cool Easter egg to have in here. I'm not sure why his skull would be here, but you see the point. It's nice to have a little sort of storyline incorporated within the build. So this is a cafe. It was Cole who started working on this, and then Snella finished it up. And I want to show you the backside, because that is absolutely gorgeous. How the support down here, I'm pretty sure it's Voxel who came up with this thing. How it is supported, that huge balcony of white marble and travertine bricks or whatever. It's really nice. Again, lots of variation with these builds, how they how the layout is, how they work. Really varied, really cool stuff. So nice cafe right there. Let's have a look at the inside. Yeah, clearly a cafe, right? Stuff to drink, places to sit, and again, balconies, keeping in touch with nature, having a nice view. And now we are entering the actual Frones district. Nice walkway. And this is a cool detail. A painter is here and, well, painting the palace here. This is one of the sort of the coolest views. We actually debated whether to have a tree or something like that there, but in some places it's nice to keep it open. You want to consider where to place trees or view blockers and where to keep it open. So now that we have well, here we are sort of enclosed. The trees are blocking the view. Then it opens up. Get a nice feeling of the palace up there. Then you are enclosed once more in this what's it called? Pergola or something like that. It sounded weird. It's something like that. And then again, you get it opens up. You can get the view here. So that's a nice thing to consider. Oh, I forgot this nice pathway leading down here. Look at that. How everything is curved and how everything is connected. So you can walk down here and under the bridge, and you get to this place, which is again really cool. Another sort of balcony like section for just sitting, enjoying, playing chess, drinking wine, whatever you'd like to do. So lots of places for just hanging out. These elves are just chilling in general. Alright, gotta scratch my nose, sorry about that. Now we're really getting into the shopping area, the shopping district, where people are working and having their shops. And you see that these streets are quite large. We wanted to keep this, well, this is a large city. This is just part of it, small part of a larger city. So that's what we wanted to do with this. So keeping the streets nice and broad. People are able to transport their goods here, and you really feel immersed inside this large city because of the tallness of the builds and how they are connected here. That's a nice thing. I'm pretty sure Voxel planned that out. But all the houses that you see here except this one was made entirely by me. So here we have an inn, which I'm gonna show you later on, and this is both a tailor shop, an apothecary, and a butcher within this huge build. And then we have a bakery, and over here a bathhouse. And this is a fisherman's house and a barber shop. So as you can see and hear, what we have here is really a shopping district. So where people would come, buy their goods, and there would be lots of, well, bustle and hustle and all that stuff here. I'm pretty sure you say hustle and bustle, right? My mistake. This is called Frones Place. Well, very creative, but well, what to call stuff here. And it's an inn. if you missed that. So what I try to do when you come in here is what would you want to have in an inn? That's the thing you want to think about. Obviously, you want a nice place to sit, and you want to feel the warmth of the hearth as you enter. It's sort of welcoming, right? And you also want a bar desk, so you can get something to drink and eat. So that's sort of the core features of a nice inn, I think. Try to keeping this bar desk sort of the main thing in this room. It takes up lots of space, sort of curved around here, and it's supported by beams. I absolutely love beams. So what I did in most of these builds was having different sort of beams. Main supported beams that also keep the framework of the house, which is these stone elven pillars, and then we have the oak wooden beams to support minor things, just roof supporting and creating a nice bar desk here. So again, here what we have is another balcony area for sitting and drinking and talking and enjoying yourself. What you see up there is a balcony for one of the rooms in the inn, but we're gonna get to that later on. But overall, I find this is quite a nice feeling. You've got lots of light, lots of places to sit, decoration, and of course the bar. So nice little inn. And again, we try to keep nature part of the build here. So let's walk up. Maybe we should walk. Maybe we should have a look at the kitchen and storage area down here. Really open. Normally I do this very clustered, but since I thought this is quite a wealthy area, they'd have lots of space here, and the cooks would be able to walk around and just chill down here, drink some wine, whatever. Of course, they've got wine cellars. I like to keep those sort of supported and integrated within the walls in that way. Little table to break off sort of the emptiness of this place. It's a nice feature having tables like that. You're able to walk around, and up here it's just barrels of stuff, basic food stuff, right? Rooms upstairs, let's have a look at those. I try to fit lots of rooms in here. That's what I do when I do inns in general, fitting lots of smaller rooms and keeping them unique and detailed. So you can house lots of people here, and rooms also, they are different sizes. You see they are on all sorts of shapes also. Some of them are really small, but you still have a bit of a window, some light coming in. This even has this little balcony, which is a really cool thing, because it's sort of it's inside the actual inn because of that outside balcony area. Out here, larger room. Of course, for wealthier people, it would be a lot more expensive living in that room. But you want to have different people being able to live here. So different types of rooms. Another large room with seating space actually, and a nice little divided here. So that's what you can do for rooms. in general also, and when you have working with these spaces, that you can divide rooms that are larger into sort of smaller sections. So that's a neat thing I find that you can do. Notice how we have stairways curving around and coming up to hallways, so you are able to get around really nicely, while this is really a unique build, the shape of it. So it's always hard to fit such stuff, but if you make it work in the end, you get a really unique build with all these shapes. Another balcony here. Balconies are nice features, both in terms of interior, that you have a balcony you can walk out on, and it's also a nice part of, well, the wall detailing. You can extend a nice little balcony out here. Very simple to do, but if you have, if you're making houses and cities that, well, have some sort of wealth, that are not poor, I'd say balconies is a very nice thing to do. Oh, we got down here. Oh, there was actually another balcony than this one. Jeez. We have lots of balconies here. That's the conclusion. So that was pretty much what we have. 2 stories of rooms, and then an attic up here for storage, and somebody is able to sleep here. I guess that's some of the workers, maybe a lad working on the inn here, probably some young boy who's working for the owner of the inn. So he's able to sleep up here. Some clothes, tobacco, all that cargo stuff. So that is pretty much the inn. Nice build. I wanted to showcase that in depth because I was quite happy with how this turned out. Also in terms of exterior, the way this part of the build is really, you clearly see that there's a different structure out here. This dome, this round curved feeling, sort of attached to the main build here. That is architecturally quite nicely done, I think. In the beginning I was a bit worried on how to make this work, because I didn't plan out how the shaping of this was quite in the beginning, but then I extended it with this part, and I made a little tower, and it all came out quite nice. So now I'm not going to show you everything in this district. You have to come check it out for yourself. But I'd like to just give you a short, a feeling of what is actually going on here. This is a barber shop, and I quite like this design. For such stuff, you want to indicate that this is really what this actually is. It's not easy to do in Minecraft actually, but you've got mirrors, buckets for cleaning up hair and stuff. You've got another sort of flooring in here, which is a neat thing, and some towels and all that. And then of course the barber would need some residential space also. This was really a tricky building to do, I remember, but we made it fit everything. And then downstairs we have a fisherman's house, because damn, I hate those door glitches. I'm not able to delete it either. Jesus Christ, what a mess. And now I'm just fucked up the texture. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. So it turned out I don't have permissions anymore. That's a bit sad now that we did all of this, but well, it was a contest build and now it's done, so I don't have permissions anymore. But I want to show you this house also because it is quite unique, and I try to do something different with this. So as you enter here, you see that we've got 2 different levels, but they are not separated with a wall. There's this open feeling to it, which I find is also quite elven, that you have space and light coming through your build. And I like how there's lots of space here. You can sit and enjoy your food up here, and then down here is a sleeping area. Oh, nice painting. I'm pretty sure it looked different. I may have fucked up my Conquest. Well, anyways, I gotta look at that later. Down here, really just lots of space, not much use here, but again, nice balcony. And always wine is again the main thing here. Everyone is drinking wine. Feels very elven to me, and a symbol of wealth as well. Down here is the kitchen. I like having kitchens downstairs in general. Not really sure why. It just makes sense to me that kitchens are downstairs, and this sort of, it doesn't have to be that much head space and all that, but you want lots of space here in a nice and large bedroom. So this works really well for me, and I think it's a cool layout. So that's another thing to consider when you're doing interiors. How can we do a unique layout? So that's really what I try to do here. And down here is a place for chilling and fishing, because we've got this river coming down here, and I imagine it would be a nice place to fish. And there's some salmon hanging here, because salmons, they live in those type of rivers. I guess, I'm pretty sure they do. And well, this doesn't really matter because this is Elven. Anyways, cool little detail, I think, that you can walk down here. And this is also the best place for sightseeing when it comes to poros in their natural habitat. You can see we've got a poro colony of poros over there, poro nest. So this is the best place to watch those poros on the plot. Yep. Another cool thing here in the Reforged district is the bathhouse, and I didn't do the interior for this bathhouse, and I'm pretty sure there's some quite explicit content in here, so we're not gonna have a look at all of this. But I still just want to showcase it a bit, and you can come take a look at this for yourself some other time. I really like the shape of this build. Again, trying to keep it organic and curved and unique and make it fit with all the rest of the buildings. It was really a challenge, but in the end, as you can see, everything fits very nicely, and each build sort of corresponds with the next. But let's just have a look at the hot springs down here, because when in F-Whip's Shoutout, which is actually very cool, he sort of confused it for a place to wash clothes. But what this actually is, let me get down here, is a bathhouse where, of course, you'd be able to, well, have a bath, but also do some funny stuff in the beds and all that up there. And there's some rooms, but down here is the hot springs where you can see towels here. So natural hot springs. Again, elves are, if they in our well opinion, elves are generally fascinated with nature, and so we wanted to do thought it was a nice thing to have natural hot springs, and it also is part of the build throughout the whole build. We've got water, which is a cool feature. I'll come back to that in some other video actually, but just want to show you these hot springs, which I think is a quite unique thing as well. So that is the features of the Reforged district, which was District 5 when we built it, so I'm sort of still calling it that. Before I leave you, let me show you this little guard post guarding the entrance to the palace here. But you see guards are chilling as well with a glass of wine, so this is not times of war. This is really just sort of a symbolic guard post, so you'll be able to They'll be able to keep track of who's coming in and out of the palace. But nice shopping area here, in my opinion. I'll have to thank Terra for doing some detailing on the roads. You see that we again have nature sort of part of the build. I really love the view here when you really feel immersed in the plot. We've got a nice butcher. We've got the core shops, I think, the most important shops. You always want an inn and stuff like a bakery and a butcher is cool things. And then a bathhouse is quite unique. So that's another thing to consider when planning such districts. That there's just some builds that you really want to have, some iconic builds. But maybe you also want to do something a little more unique. For example, we also have an Apothecary, which is quite cool. It was Snelle who did this design. Quite unique again, and different to the other builds, because it is an Apothecary and it needs to feel that way. So really quite a cool build here. Managed to fit lots of floors in here. These are quite some huge houses, so that's why don't want to go through all of it. But this was pretty much District 5. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you want to see more, check it out for yourself, and stay tuned for the next part of the showround coming out real soon. This was GamerFrones, over and out. Oh, I forgot the smithy. I am such a noob. Just a quick look at the smithy. Sorry guys, this is so late and I'm not able to get all of this in the actual videos, because there's just so much stuff here. But smithy is of course also a main structure within any shopping district. Well, I'm gonna leave you with that. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.